Greetings, I'm Dr. Eric Kusher, founder and developer of the Compass Total Wellness and Compass Fat Loss Systems. Your most productive journey will begin with some extremely detailed, non-invasive diagnostic testing, simple and quick to perform, but supplying a wealth of data to allow us to objectively assess your health risks as well as closely track your progress. This diagnostic study will be the only service provided in our physical offices, while the balance of services will be provided remotely via video conference, phone, and automatic data download from the provided devices. It will help us determine your risk status for a number of metabolic conditions, including cardiovascular health, diabetes, neurological disorders, and more. This testing is covered by most insurance and health savings account plans, is affordable for those without insurance coverage, and while it is not a requirement to proceed with the program, it is strongly recommended in order to provide objective findings used to monitor progress and assess health parameters along the way. The Compass Fat Loss Plan is designed to specifically address and optimize these risk factors, and we expect you will experience some amazing changes, both objectively and in the way you feel and look by following the program. Your basic risk profile will also be tracked daily using the home unit we provide as part of your initial kit. Thank you for completing your patient health information form. Be advised, this form will be reviewed in detail by both the coach assisting you as well as the doctor prior to your beginning the program. The doctor will reach out to you personally should he or she feel there are circumstances within your history which warrant further discussion. It is very important that if you're currently taking any medications, especially those for diabetes, high blood pressure, and elevated lipids, that your primary care physician or any specialists whom are monitoring you stay in the loop with the process here. It's not going to be long before you've lost a significant amount of weight, and your needs for those medications may change. We need your doctors to be in the know to make these changes on the fly when necessary. Please also note that even though we fully expect dramatic changes in your risk profile to result from the process, we are not diagnosing nor treating health conditions here. We will simply be co-managing our part of the process with your current healthcare providers, or refer you to appropriate providers if necessary. Now let's talk for a moment about some other methods that patients might have tried to lose weight in the past. These types of programs are generally pretty good at getting weight to come off in the short term, but not very good at keeping it off in the long term. I have no interest in getting you to lose weight that you're ultimately going to wind up putting back on. I want the weight coming off, I want it staying off, and I want this to be your last stop. That's one reason we use all real food, not packaged meals, shakes, and bars, so you can bring your new lifestyle habits forward to maintain forever. Now, let's talk about some reasons that patients come in to see us to lose weight. Your health is the only reason I really care about. So let's discuss this, as it is the one reason which aligns most closely with everything which follows. For this reason, and as previously mentioned, part of what we do for new patients beginning on day one of your program is a little bit of non-invasive testing to give me a good handle on where your health risks are sitting today. And the goal for me is to get those risks to come from wherever they show up on day one to wherever they should be optimally. And when we have successfully made that transition, any other reasons that people come to us to lose weight besides their health, meaning subjective things like your clothes fitting better, the mirror looking better, your self-esteem, your confidence, these are all going to fall into place almost automatically. So, you and I are going to continuously focus on driving your health risk down to land in the proper range, and all the other things will come along for the ride. They require no conscious focus on our part. Our system to accomplish these goals has been designed so you, the patient, will actually take home and own the hardware system designed to supply us with all of our objective readings to continually assess progress in real time. Your coach will instruct you on the simple process of taking the very same readings at home each day. This data will automatically be uploaded to our dashboard daily, allowing us to follow your progress each step of the way and jump in should you need assistance. The platform will also allow us to communicate with you in real time via electronic means or even video conference. Finally, let's talk about your commitment or motivation level, which is the final question on your history form. This is a very important question because patients need to understand, A, the motivation or commitment to do this is the only thing that you need to bring to the process. And B, if we're going to do something together, we're not going to be doing it halfway. I'm going to be 100% in, or it makes little sense to start. There is no halfway here. I also expect a similar mindset from my patients. Let's get the job done, or why even bother? If you're fully motivated, you need to understand that we'll have your back throughout this whole process, and we're going to get you to goal weight, and much more importantly, we're going to keep you at goal weight for the long term and give you the tools you need to maintain. Let's take the rest of our time together and get you a really good overview of our program and the process here. We'll do a little bit of comparing and contrasting to other program types that you might be familiar with, and we'll go into a few things that I'm going to be asking of you in order to be successful. And then a whole bunch of things that myself and the team will give back to make sure that we finally get to your goal and, more importantly, stay there. Our process here is not going to consist of counting calories or points or any other measures of food going into you. I'm not going to be pushing you into a gym today or asking you to exercise vigorously. That's exactly the type of an outside-in process that we expect from the other weight loss programs. They count calories going into you, then they measure how much you burn during exercise and activity, and quite frankly, they do the math and they hope that you burn more than you consume. So in theory, you're going to lose weight. In order to get a different result, we need to take a vastly different approach. My focus is going to be on the inside and working out, which means I'm going to be focusing exclusively on your metabolism and your biochemistry right now. And the goal here is to change or transition those over from a fat storing state, which is apparently where you've been for some time, into a fat burning state, or a state of what we call sustainable ketosis. When we transition you out the other side, your body's going to be looking for its primary sources of fuel in your onboard stores of fuel, which is your body fat, before it's going to be looking for new calories coming in the form of food. To get this to happen, there's a few things that we need to ask of you in order to be successful. Actually, 4 things. Number 1, I'm going to ask you to weigh yourself every day on the unit that you will take home after the initial visit, so we have some precision and reliability in our numbers. And I'm going to ask you to do that at roughly the same time each day, in the same clothes, or preferably no clothes, so we're comparing apples to apples every day down the line. Most of our patients who do this will either roll out of bed, step out of the shower nude onto the unit, and get their numbers. These readings will be automatically uploaded to our platform, so there is no additional effort on your part. This is a critical part of the process which gives me real-time daily oversight on everything that's happening to you. So, if you're sending your numbers every day and you're losing weight consistently at a good clip, you'll need little input on those days. If, however, like most patients, you reach a point where you hit a plateau or a sticking point, as happens to every patient, and you'll probably hit more than one, now I'll know it at the same time you do because we're watching your numbers every day. So, we're not going to wait a week or a month to get you in here and fix these things. We're going to actually fix them in real time. We're going to see these sticking points, we're going to assess them, we're going to give you things to break through the sticking points immediately, and continue heading consistently down towards goal weight with very little interruption. This communication process and this oversight, this monitoring, and this accountability back and forth is a huge piece of what makes the process work as effectively as it does. We'll be with you every single day, every step of the way to monitor your progress and coach you as needed. Step number 2, as you probably expect, there's going to be a meal plan that's associated with the process here. The meal plan is very common sense. It's all built around real food that you buy at the grocery store and prepare yourself. You'll shop the same way you always have, just making better choices. And this is all by design. because we don't want you to be dependent upon some packaged processed meals or bars or shakes. That's not the way to lose weight that you're going to maintain for the rest of your life. Once those tools are gone, you've learned no new skills, and that's where most people gravitate towards the way they ate before and regain their weight. You'll also be free to eat out at restaurants as long as you make proper choices and let your server know how your food needs to be prepared. Virtually every restaurant will accommodate these requests these days. The new plan is going to be built around proteins, vegetables, and fruits. So within those three categories, you're going to have a ton of choices, a lot of latitude, and we're going to give you several hundred recipes so you'll actually enjoy your food and you won't go hungry. And most patients have a really easy time sticking to the meal plan. Outside of those three categories are going to be the foods that I'm going to ask you to try to steer clear of, which are probably the ones you might expect. The pizza, the pasta, the chips, the soda, the wine, all the things that keep people coming to us every day. But most patients find that their cravings for these types of foods do tend to fall off pretty early in the process. And the reason that happens is that one of the first things that we're getting done here is a rebalancing and a normalization of your blood sugar. If you're on anything like a standard Western diet today, even if you're not a diabetic, your blood sugar throughout the day goes into swings. It goes high and then low and then high and then low. And when you're up here high, you feel pretty decent. But when your blood sugar starts to bottom out, that's when patients get symptoms. First, they get cravings for the wrong types of foods because your body is trying to pump up its blood sugar. Secondly, many patients feel fatigue or periods of low energy during the day. That's when their blood sugar is bottoming out. If, over a short period of time, we can compress those swings down so your blood sugar is more level, instead of gyrating throughout the day, the symptoms tend to fall off. Cravings will diminish, and most patients will find that their energy level will come up and stay there fairly early in the process. So they tend to feel a whole lot better pretty early on as compared to before they started. So number 2, stick with your meal plan. Number 3, for the initial 43-day cycle, I'm going to ask you to keep a daily journal for me. This is a little bound notebook that's part of what you receive, and inside this book, among other things, are 43 separate pages. One page for each day of the cycle. And keep it with you and accessible because you'll need to be logging certain things throughout the day for us. Simple things like the date, your goal weight, your weight for each day, which is likely to change every day. You'll list all the foods that you eat throughout the day, specifically all the water that you drink, and we'll be tracking this, and all the supplements that you take. And there are 3 supplements that come along as part of the program, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But the journal is a valuable tool, as it's a reference guide for you and I to go back to if we're 3 or 4 weeks down the road and we've hit one of these sticking points or plateaus. Part of what I'll say to you is, next time we check your progress, have that journal with you. We'll sit down together, we'll go through it, we'll pick it apart, we'll see where you might have fallen off the rails a little bit. We'll course correct if we have to, and we'll keep you heading down consistently toward your goal weight. Fourth and finally are the supplements which were just mentioned a moment ago. There are 3 supplements that we have formulated here to work hand in hand with our program. They're all in liquid form in bottles with droppers, and they either go in your water or under your tongue depending upon which dose you're taking. And they're all made without the use of any medications or hormones or caffeine or stimulants or anything that's ever given a single patient a side effect, a drug interaction, or an adverse reaction. We've treated thousands of patients and never had an incident. So they're very safe, but they do 3 specific things very effectively for us. The first one is a weight management formula. And all that does, quite frankly, is to accelerate the rate that your body burns fat tissue. So if you go on a restricted calorie plan, here or anywhere else, and you don't have something like this working for you, the usual expectation in weight loss is that the patient will be expected to lose about a pound of lean tissue for each pound of fat that they lose. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. Statistically here, with the use of the formula, and we crunch the numbers consistently to make sure of this, we skew it over towards now we'll be losing 80% fat and 20% lean tissue. It's not perfect, but it's a huge improvement, and it's very important because we do want to lose the tissue that serves very little purpose for us and is actually counterproductive, which is the fat. But we want to hang on to the muscle tissue because that will continue to burn calories for us throughout the process. The second supplement is an energy formula called B-Boost, and we use that because if you go on a reduced calorie plan and you don't have something to naturally keep your energy level boosted up, it's just going to be a matter of time before you begin to fatigue, and your mood changes, and your motivation falls away, and you say, no more of this. We don't see that here. Most of our patients actually report to us that even though they're eating a smaller volume of food on the plan than before, that their energy level comes up and stays there consistently. And this is largely due to the energy formula. Third and finally is a detox formula. And use this during the initial 43-day cycle because from the second day of the cycle moving forward, your body's actually going to be burning somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 calories every single day of body fat for its fuel. And any toxins that your body hangs on to right now are right inside that fat. So as the fat burns, the toxins will get slowly released into the bloodstream, and the detox formula will serve to detoxify those into less harmful forms and ultimately help you excrete them in the urine. So you will take these 3 supplements for the 43-day cycle. You'll get transitioned into the fat burning state, and you won't need them any longer. They're just for the transition phase. So let's take a quick step back and go through the 4 things again that I'm asking of you. Number 1, take and transmit your weight every day. Number 2, follow your meal plan. Number 3, keep your journal for the 43 days. Number 4, take your supplements for 43 days. Any patient that comes through this process with us that will simply do these 4 things will succeed every single time. We have virtually 100% success rate here. In addition to the few things that I ask of you, and all that I and my staff will do to make sure that we attain success and stay there are a couple of pieces of technology that are built into the system to make sure that everything that we do here together stays objective and measurable. We guess at nothing here. Everything goes by data and numbers consistently. So let's discuss those for a moment. First is a little test called a body composition analysis, or BCA. This looks like a bathroom scale, and it's the unit you will take home with you. You climb aboard, it interfaces with our computer, and at the end of the test, it gives me a collection of 5 readings that I need so we can build a baseline for you. So we have something to measure off going forward to continually assess our progress. These will be your body weight, your BMI, or your body mass index, which is just a ratio of your height to your weight, your percentage of body fat. I need to know this continually because as we lose weight consistently, I need to be sure that we're burning the right kind of tissue. And this test will tell me that. Fourth is your level of hydration, very important number. For the reactions that have to occur to get you shifted into the fat burning state, it's very difficult to do that with somebody who is dehydrated. So, if you come back low on this level, it just lets us know that we need to pump up your water intake to certain levels throughout the process, and we'll be fine. Fifth and finally is a number called your level of visceral fat, which actually turns out to be the most important number to me. Visceral fat is a bit different than just cosmetic fat. It's a different composition. It's the kind of fat that usually surrounds and supports your internal organs. Men generally see it in the belly and in the sides, and women there as well, and sometimes in the back of the arms. But the number is important because this is the number that if it comes back elevated, it correlates very closely to your risk factors for metabolic diseases going forward. We're talking about things like high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, stroke, all stuff that we need to keep our eye on to keep our risks minimal. So I want you to lose weight for whatever reasons you came to us for. We're going to continue to look at all 5 of those readings, but the visceral fat is the one that I, as a healthcare provider, will pay the most attention to. And if that comes back elevated, my first order of business is to knock it down as quickly as possible, and all those other numbers will follow right along. The second meeting is performed about 6 weeks out at your second appointment via phone or video conference. At that point, you'll have already submitted your DNA sample via the simple cheek swab kit included in your initial package, which was submitted to our lab where they perform a detailed DNA analysis for us based on a couple of specific targets. This is the point where we're going to dig into exercise a bit more deeply. Based on the results of that report, I'm not just going to tell you it's time to start exercising again. We're going to get very specific, and I'll be able to tell you exactly how much cardio you should be doing, how much resistance or weight training, to what intensity level, duration of workouts, how frequently you should work out, all specifics that are based upon your genetic profile and structured around any possible limitations you may have. Finally, it'll give me a nutritional status on you as well, which will allow me to suggest the right supplements for you, but again, in the proper forms and the proper dosages so your body can metabolize them and utilize them properly, which again, every patient does differently. So, at the end of our process here, every patient will leave with a similar 43-day meal plan. But every single patient's exercise plan, maintenance plan, supplement plan is going to be worlds apart because it's based on your individual genetic profile. Weight loss systems that use this type of genetic testing are statistically about 2.5 times more effective at losing weight than those that don't. So as long as this technology has been available to us, we've utilized it on every single patient. It helps to maximize our progress, and it's a very valuable tool. We also have a very powerful private Facebook patient support group with literally thousands of our patients interacting and sharing ideas, experiences, recipes, and inspirations. We hope you will join, although not a requirement and only available to enrolled patients. There are a few ways that you can choose to go. If you've heard me and you feel like this is a program that resonates with you and you want to push forward with the rest of it, we'll follow up with a one-on-one video consultation with the doctor who will review your health history, discuss any questions you may have after watching this entire video, and guide you through the balance of the enrollment process. If, however, you feel like you need to think about this a little further, talk about it with family members, that's fine too. We want you to be comfortable with your decision to make sure that it's the right program and the right time for you. This will never be a pressured situation. Program costs and flexible available payment options will be discussed at the end of this video. Compass Fat Loss does accept insurance assignment with the understanding that different plans and carriers may reimburse at different levels. Should you have an HSA or health savings account or an FSA flexible spending account through your employer, these funds may also be used toward these expenses 100% of the time. Please follow the path that's comfortable for you. And if it's to come on board with us, we'll work with you every single day and we'll do our very best to help you reach your goals and maintain them for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening and continue to listen after the upcoming testimonials.
In the first 8 months, I was down 73 pounds.
75 pounds total.
84 pounds.
85 pounds.
Collectively, we've lost 95 pounds.
104 pounds.
116 pounds.
125 pounds.
Yeah, in 8 months, I've lost a little more than 130 pounds.
My name's Laura. I've lost 100 pounds so far, but I truly have been grateful every moment of the day that I've done this. I've learned a whole lot about the grocery store, how important it is to circle the outside of the store, the produce section, the meat section, the dairy section. Those are the ones I basically rely on. I know which aisles I can kind of scoot down and get the things that I need. I've also learned to really read labels because it's amazing the things that they put in your food that you don't even realize you're getting until you read the entire label.
I definitely am huge at meal prepping. I began to shop for lean meats, grass-fed meats, organic products that were healthier. I read every single label that I could at the supermarket, and it was so. It was a big eye-opener to see that the unnatural ingredients that were in so many things that I was eating before.
That's the best part of this program, that it's all your own food. You don't have to take anything else. I'm not good with different things. I like to cook, I like to prepare, and I like to be adventurous with my food.
No prepackaged, no extra protein bars, any of that stuff. Everything we eat, we prepare ourselves, and you can get it at any grocery store.
Having taken 104 pounds off of my body and turning fat into muscle and, fuel has caused me to eliminate the pain 100%. No pain in my knees, no pain in my ankles, and all the energy in the world.
With their help, I've been able to cut my medications down. My metformin is completely gone, and I've cut my cholesterol meds in half, and hopefully my other meds will be reduced or eliminated also. When I started, I was on 2 diabetic pills, 1 high blood pressure pill, cholesterol pill, and as of today, I take none of those pills anymore. My A1C when I started was 8.7, and my last one was 4.6.
One of the reasons I started was because I was taking a lot of daily medications for high blood pressure, for prediabetes, and I was actually on a CPAP machine. And I would say if I started in June, by August or September, I was off of all the medications, where I was taken off the CPAP machine. And I am absolutely very healthy. It feels great to not have to take medications daily.
My medication has been greatly reduced. I was a type 2 diabetic back in July of 2018. And I went from a A1C of 8.1. I am now 5.1. And I have currently gone off of cholesterol medication, and blood pressure medication has been greatly reduced. I feel terrific.
I mean, now I'm back to health, and that's what I came for, not just to lose weight.
I've tried many diets and nothing worked for me like this one does.
I feel fantastic.
I feel great. It's been a life changer.
It's been absolutely wonderful.
Now that you understand our process and you've seen some of our success stories, the time to take action is now. First, most questions you may have had should have been answered by this presentation, but please ask us any remaining questions that you may have. When you've had your initial consultation with the doctor, simply let him know you wish to proceed with the program, and he will have a staff member reach out and help you complete the enrollment process. Finally, let's talk about the payment process and the options here. If you have insurance coverage, payment for all the supplies included in your initial module kit is due upon enrollment at a cost of $13.99. And much of any additional charges going forward will be billed directly to your insurance carrier, and you would be responsible for any remaining deductible only. You should never see another bill for services. Health savings accounts and flexible spending accounts through your employer normally cover these fees as well. Should you not have insurance coverage, nor an HSA or FSA account, your fee for the entire program will be $16.99, covering the initial 6-week period, then $59 monthly for our extended support program for a 3-month minimum, which allows us to continue to monitor and guide you long-term, and may be discontinued at any time afterwards without penalty or obligation. Although virtually every patient finds immense value in the continued monitoring and accountability. These charges would cover all the daily monitoring and communication and all required remote patient monitoring devices, yours to keep, as well as the basic supplies needed for ongoing care. All these charges can also be financed with as little as 0 down and very affordable monthly payments. My goal is to guide you to success and long-term sustainability, and it's extremely rare that we cannot make the finances comfortable. Once we reach goal weight together, we recommend you allow us to continue to monitor you via the extended support program to ensure you remain within a tight range surrounding your goal weight. So I'm comfortable that once you attain that weight, that you're holding it well for a reasonable period of time before I start to gradually hand the pieces of the process over to you, allowing you to assume more full control. Insurance may continue to cover this for a time, or it is available for a nominal monthly fee. What begins as a rapid weight loss process is going to transition into a longer-term relationship process, and the entire staff will be with you until you come out the other side. Finally, let's assume you've lost your weight and are maintaining well, and now we are 1 to 2 years down the road, and you may begin to slip up a little bit. All I ask from the patient is that you maintain the channels of communication with the doctor and staff, and we will all be here to help you stay on track or get back on track should you stray a bit. The one thing I don't want you to do is disappear. We cannot help you if we cannot find you. The fee you are paying covers all of your visits, your monitoring, your DNA testing, your initial supplements, your remote hardware, the entire process.